Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse Pregame Show, the live special that we're going to focus on the latest trades involving Knicks, potential targets that Quis and I like, and things that we've heard in rumors. And welcome. It's been a while. It's been a minute.
How's everything,
Keith.
George?
Good, man. Good to see you. Yeah.
Hopefully we can get back on a little win streak this. We can start a win streak tonight.
I've been thinking a lot about this situation that we're in with Mitch going down. Actually, I didn't even realize when I was watching the previous game. I thought, hey, we have a chance in that game to, kind of wake up in that second half and win that game. Totally overlooking that Mitch was gone for the rest of the game. So his impact is tremendous. I think some people downplay it a little too much. I know you and I are big fans of Mitch. What's your feelings about the whole Mitch situation?
It sucks because, what is this? The third time he's broken a bone during the season, and he'll be out. They say 3 weeks, but I highly doubt he'll return in 3 weeks. Remember, they said the same thing about Obi. 3 weeks, reevaluate him, and then it took a little bit longer. With Mitch, hopefully he'll be able to come back in a similar time frame that we saw with Obi, but you never know. And I think this team is definitely going to miss his impact out there on the court, the way he can make other teams second guess whenever they foray into the paint. And, the fact that he's a phenomenal offensive rebounder, and rebounding has definitely been one of the big pieces of this team. And, Mitchell Robinson is that catalyst. So without him, we're going to hope that, the other guys can step up their game. But I think we'll definitely see how valuable Mitchell Robinson is to this team during his absence.
Absolutely. I mean, right now, he's arguably the best offensive rebounder in the game. Him and Steven Adams. And even Steven Adams said this guy's a beast. I don't remember his exact words, but he definitely gave Mitch his flowers. It's going to hurt a lot, especially the way the team is constructed now. It's going to hurt a lot. We don't even, it's going to kill us on the offensive glass tremendously because we actually have not been that great of a shooting team in general. So Mitch being able to clean the glass and just put it back, those dunks, that really makes up for a poor shooting team in general. So that's where I think it's going to hurt us the most. But it's also going to hurt us defensively because now, like you were saying, he was almost more of a deterrence than actually, because if you notice, his blocks are down in general. Mm-hmm. And it's because people they know. They're like, well, what are we going to even try to do this?
No need to test them.
Yeah, exactly. They don't want to test him. So when he's in there. And, he's had some games where he's had some foul trouble, so he's out of the game. And it has hurt us. So it's going to be tough. And part of what we're going to look at here, and welcome everybody for joining us here. This is going to be the Knicks Trades Rundown Live. We're going to also, if this is your first time here, please subscribe, share this video, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to Sports Vibes TV. You're going to get back to doing the Sunday stream?
Sunday streams, yeah, with Foxy.
All right. You're going to do one this Sunday?
Yep. It'll end up being a pregame because we play at 6.
Right. That's right. Okay. So
you're free to join us as well if you want to.
All right. We'll see. If I'm able to race back in time, I'll definitely join.
Are you going to be turning up on Sunday?
I have some things I have to do on Sunday.
A little something. Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah. But before we move on, George, you mentioned Mitch and his ability to do, putbacks and things like that. But if you also see like late in games, even though this team decides, not decides, but falters at times, the buckets that we are able to get in those clutch moments are either Jalen Brunson being able to penetrate and score, or Mitch being able to tap it out, get us a second possession, and then we're able to, attack defenses when they're scrambling, trying to figure things out. So those are areas that, the team is definitely going to miss Mitchell Robinson. And then you look at who's going to replace him. We love Sims and, iHeart. They brought him in to be a serviceable backup, but it's still going to be a major drop-off without Mitchell Robinson out there on the court. So sucks to see him get injured. Sucks to see him miss about a month, I would assume, if not more. But I think this team can, put it together and still be competitive in his absence.
I agree 100%. He's definitely going to be missed with those tap outs. Those are big. Those are huge. we see Sims does it to some extent. In iHeart does it as well, but not to the level that Mitch does it.
Mm-hmm.
Mitch actually taps it to a player.
Yeah,
which is a
instead of just
tremendous.
widely tapping it
Yeah,
out. And he's
exactly.
also a big body to box out. So when teams are focused on trying to box out, because teams are game planning for Mitchell Robinson, trying to keep him off the board. So when teams are trying to focus on him and keep him out to play, it allows guys like RJ Barrett, like Emmanuel Quickly, even Julius Randle to then fill in that void that's being left by the opposing team players in the paint and pull down some rebounds. So it's definitely going to be a major blow to this squad, but we'll just have to see how they respond.
We'll have to see how they respond. And we're going to talk about, we're going to give our ideas about how the Knicks should respond. We'll talk about that. But first, I want to shout out the chat. We got a nice, robust group here. I see Geraldine MacGyver, salute, Nick Fan, SB Gorilla, Cormega, Gideon. All right, we got Buzzer Beater. All right, we got the main crew here. Yeah, thank you guys. K Sings, thanks for tuning in. All right, well, let's get to. I mean, the main. Well, you know what? Before we get to the trade talks, because it kind of leads into this. How it's a twofold question. How do you think Thibs and the Knicks are going to approach Mitch's injury and surgery? Because Mitch could be gone at the early, in my opinion, the earliest he'll be back would be at the end of February. So March 1st. That's a lot of games. Now, luckily, it's the All-Star
break.
All-Star break is there. When is the All-Star break this year?
I know the 9th is an important date. What's that?
That's the trade deadline.
The trade deadline. So the All-Star game isn't too far behind.
Yeah, the All-Star game is, when is that? February 19th. So that's good. That's going to help. It's going to help. It usually knocks off at least 2 games that you normally would play, 2 additional games. If the Knicks are all in. We're in right now. I know you and I, we've had these discussions whether we should even have been going for this. But the reality is what it is. And the Knicks are going for a playoff seed. They're going to try to get a playoff seed. Without Mitch Robinson holding it down, how are the Knicks and Thibs going to respond to that? And then the next question is, how would you like to see them respond to that? So as one is like, how do we think they're going to do it? And then there's what's our wish list?
Well, I don't think they're going to do anything too drastic because they just paid Mitch a decent amount of money. And if they go after another big time center, you would think Mitch might be a key piece of that deal. So with him being injured, I think that might be a holdup in order for them to try and bring in a bigger name center. So that's why you're seeing a guy like Ibaka, someone that would be cheap and expensive, wouldn't cost too many assets to bring in. You can bring that guy in, Ibaka in to play and split minutes with iHeart and Jericho Sims. So I don't think they're going to make any major moves. Me personally, I hope they don't make any major moves, because if they are going to make a move, it'll be to continue to build this team in Tom Thibodeau's image. And I don't necessarily think that's the right way for us to go, because you know how I feel about Tibbs. I don't think he's the right guy. So any deal that they do make, I think they're going to bring Tibbs in and give him a little bit more say in the moves that they make. Because look at how Cam Reddish has turned out. They had Bobby Marks? He had an article in The Athletic where he said before he made a move for Jordan Hill back when he was the GM or running the Nets, he reached out to Kidd and tried to find out if Kidd was actually going to use him before he made that deal. It doesn't seem like the Knicks did that, because from day one, Tibbs sounded like he was totally against the move. So for the front office to do that without bringing in Tom Thibodeau and getting some input from him, I think was a major mistake. And I think they won't make that mistake again.
So it sounds like so you feel that they're not going to really do anything major. Do you?
Nothing.
But
not
and also
you
don't. And then on top of that, you don't want them to. You think we can hold it down with iHeart and Sims? Do you see? Before I ask you this, my feeling is this: I think I think they're at a difficult situation right now. I think there's a possibility if they could get somebody that could fill that role for Mitch, who could be a very prominent person, like a Miles Turner, and we're going to talk about him in detail, because the clock's running out for the Pacers with Turner. They have to do something, and they're not going to get too much for him because he's
about to hit the market.
He's about to hit the market. So it's in an interesting situation. It's very different than in years past when we've talked about Miles Turner. Very different. But of course, there'll be competition to get him. But then there's also, like you mentioned, like Ibaka, smaller moves. I see, shout out to Fritz. You mentioned maybe a Dwight Howard. Somebody, it's just, you just kind of, someone that's not even on a roster right now.
Dwight Howard's overseas right now. You think he'll just pack up and come back? I know I would, but he might have fun over there.
Yeah, you never know. You never know with him. But I could see him. I could see him. Yeah, I could see it. Especially for the Knicks, because they're an interesting team. They're in the playoffs right now. I think any player, any guy would just dive at the chance for a playoff run. So that's what we're positioned that way right now. I'm not as sure as you are that the Knicks are not going to try to address this through a trade of some sort, through a big.
I think they might address it. I just don't think it'll be for another starting caliber center or one that's like in a Miles Turner type of position in his career. Because I think any trade for another top tier center is going to include Mitchell Robinson. I don't see Mitchell Robinson coming off the bench. I don't see Miles Turner coming off the bench. So me personally, I have always seen a move for Miles Turner, meaning that the Knicks were either going to include Mitch in the deal or they were going to make another move in order to help build this team with Miles Turner now as the starter.
Well, the thing is, Mitch isn't going anywhere. He's not getting traded right now. That's for sure.
I think it's going to make it even more difficult.
Exactly. Especially the way he's been playing too. He would just, it would be odd for the Knicks to trade him at this point, injured, and the way he's been playing, without seeing what else is going to replace him. Fansided put this article out from the viewpoint of the Pacers. By the way, this wasn't a Knicks focused article, and this was very recent. The Knicks would get Miles Turner and a 2023 second round pick. And the Pacers would get Derrick Rose. Now, a lot of that is the match salaries. 2020 and the two 2023 first round picks that we have were our own that would be unprotected, and the Dallas pick. Here they write, these are reports that the Knicks want to move off. There are reports that the Knicks want to move off of Derrick Rose, and this would give them the opportunity to do so. Salary match for Miles Turner. The Knicks have excessive first round picks and appeared to be in a more of a win now mode. Sending two of their 4 2023 first round picks to the Pacers may be worth it to bring in a defensive specialist like Miles Turner to play alongside Brunson and company. The question is whether or not the Pacers are looking to continue to stash their draft capital. So there's the structure of a potential trade. Our first round picks are, I don't think many people would give up 2 first round picks for a Miles Turner at this point unless they knew they were for sure going to sign him. Now we have a plethora of picks, and we have, some of them are compromised because
I asked the Jazz how compromised they are.
Yeah, exactly. I've struggled with this because I was like, man. So do we do this trade? If it's there on the table and we have an opportunity to do it, he's a tremendous upgrade over iHeart and Sims. There's no doubt. He rivals Mitch in terms of impact. Offensively, he's a better shooter. He's got a little more going offensively than Mitch does. Defensively, much more versatile. Mitch is a much better defender, in my opinion. But he's not here, and we don't know with him. We don't know. So this could be like a trade you do now to get you through this next month and a half, and maybe it helps you even win some extra games than you would have normally. And your position there for that 6th seed, maybe even grab that 5th seed. Mitch returns, and Mitch, Mitch doesn't care. He got the bag. He doesn't care whether he comes off the bench or he starts.
You
I know
sure
he
about
cares.
that?
He cares in his heart, but he has come off the bench in the past. We've seen him, especially when he comes back from injury.
Yeah, coming back from injury, there's a reason they're trying to ease him back into the flow of things. But I don't know if he'll be thrilled about coming off the bench, especially when he got paid to be a starter. And that's when it'll be a little bit dicey there, because now you're going to be giving up 2 first-round picks for Miles Turner, who I think, isn't necessarily – he's a massive upgrade over Ihart and Jericho Sims, but I don't think he's a massive upgrade over Mitchell Robinson. And I'm not sure if the team should play with fire and demote Mitchell Robinson to being a bench player at that point. And also, you're trading the 2 first. There's no guarantee that Miles Turner will re-sign. And then you look at what Mitch is getting paid. Yeah, the contract is descending, but you're still going to be paying him a solid amount of money in year 2. And I'm pretty sure Miles Turner is looking at Mitch's contract and saying he probably wants more than that. So now you're looking at around $30 to $40 million tied up at the center position. And I don't know if that's ideal when you're trying to build a championship roster.
Absolutely. But here it is. I mean, the rumors are still out there, circling. So to me, it doesn't make that much sense from the financial standpoint that you're talking about. But you know what? When you're making a run for the playoffs, sometimes you have to come off the bench. You come off the bench. I mean, that's it. Especially if you got the bag, and if Mitch makes more sense with the second unit, great. If Turner makes more sense with the second unit, then you go with that. At this point, if you are serious as a franchise about winning games in the regular season to position yourself for the playoffs, then you make a move like this, and then you worry about it later and how you deal with it. It's tricky, but it definitely adds tremendous. He has tremendous upside. There's no doubt about that. And then sometimes he's gone on some rolls where he's just phenomenal from
shooting lights out.
Yeah, shooting lights out. And even has a decent mid-range game, which we don't see it as much because of the way the game is structured nowadays. But the other thing is, like, what do we do with small ball and Obi? Do you see Thibs? Do you see Thibs going with it, trying it? I mean, really embracing it this time?
Thibs will probably go with RJ at the 4 in small ball lineups before he'll go with Obi. And he'll probably play, that RJ at the 4 lineup more than Obi.
Yeah, we've already seen it.
Yeah.
Late. Yeah.
So I think small ball will be an option. I just think, some Knicks fans might be a little bit surprised when they see it's more so Randle at the 5, RJ at the 4, than Obi at the 4, Randle at the 5. So we'll see it. I wish, Thibs can find a way to use Obi and get the most out of him. But do I think it'll happen? No, not really. We've seen Thibs really doesn't know what to do with some of these uber athletic guys. We've seen it with Cam Reddish being put to the end of the bench, and we're seeing it more and more with Obi and his limited role on the team. So as a fan of the Knicks and as a fan of Obi and his game, I would love to see him get a larger opportunity to show what he can do. I mean, we drafted him high in the first round, not too crazy. What was it? He was the 8th overall pick. So for a guy to be drafted that high and not really being given an opportunity to show what he can do out there is definitely a big miss for this front office and for the coaching staff. So hopefully now that Mitchell Robinson is out, Thibs can try to be a little bit more creative with his rotations and try to find a way to get Obi Toppin more involved.
You say hopefully. I think it's a must do. Like you said, he's the 8th pick in the 2020 draft.
I hear you, but we've seen crazier things from Thibs.
I know we have. I know. I mean, yeah, I know the reality of the stubbornness of Thibs, but we're also in this other reality where, we lost our starting center. Ihart is not a starting center caliber guy. Some could argue Sims should replace him in the rotation in terms of the minutes allotment. So now we're thinking about him start. So we're going to start Sims. Sims is more similar to Mitch in general, but he doesn't have. First of all, he doesn't have the defensive presence in the middle that Mitch does. He gives you more defense out on the perimeter, which is good. Not necessarily more than Mitch. Mitch can do it. He just, the way he plays it, He doesn't really commit to defending out on the perimeter, especially when he gets switched up on smaller guys. He tries to coax them in, and then he'll dive to block the shot. Yeah, which is it's a technique that very few guys can do. He does it effectively
because he has that length.
He's got the length, exactly. So we're in a tough spot here, and I think it's a great opportunity if you're not willing to bring someone else in to at least in terms of trades, but we're going to talk about other possibilities. I think this is the time where you really look at Obi on the floor with Randall. You really got to look at that at least 10 minutes a night to see what you got there.
Obi can barely play 10 minutes a game, and you want him out there on the court with Randall for 10 minutes a night?
Yeah.
I got my fingers crossed, bro. But I'm not sure about it.
This is our one of our highest draft picks since RJ. And we're just letting him, kind of rot away there for playing 10 minutes a game. What does he even play now? I tweeted that out today. It was pretty sad, actually.
What is minutes per game for the season?
Yeah,
the season he's at 15.9.
He's now average 15.9. But since those first 14 games when he averaged almost 18 minutes a game, he averaged 10 points a game. He was shooting 49% from the field, 42.5% from the 3-point line, 4 rebounds. He was a 1+1, 1.1 plus minus. Since then, which began with the Denver game, when he went to Denver. Since then, he's played about 17 games because he was injured. He's only averaging 14 minutes a game, less than 4 points a game. He's averaging since then, shooting 28% from the field, 25% from the 3-point line, and only 3 rebounds a game. And now he's a minus 1.4. So something's happened with him, and maybe this is a way to kind of wake him up. It's definitely something that they should look at, but you're right. I could easily see Thibs totally. If he goes with a small ball lineup, he goes with RJ at the 4.
I mean, honestly, one of the best small ball lineups we have would probably feature Cam in there somewhere, but we're not even going to see that either.
Yeah. In fact, I saw the numbers. I looked at the numbers. He is one of the better. He was part of one of the more productive small ball lineups. It was when Cam was out there. But speaking of Cam, the rumors are starting to heat up, Quis.
And I'm not liking any of them.
You're not liking any of them.
Not one bit.
Here we go. Hey, hit the thumbs up for us when you get a chance. And let's see here. Captain Matumbo asked, George, why don't Thibs run zone defense? Great question.
That's not his scheme.
It's not his scheme. And I've wondered it many times. So here we go. Cam Reddish. Actually, Ian Begley reported that the newest of the many rumors surrounding the Heat, they surfaced around January 20th, that some of Miami's team personnel are intrigued by Cam Reddish. And now that the Knicks are looking for, 2 second-round picks?
It's ridiculous.
For Cam?
Yes. I think that was the most recent report.
Yeah.
They were previously holding out for a first, and now they're willing to settle for 2 seconds. No one loves second-round picks more than this organization, I tell you.
I know. I
mean, we hit on ours. We do decent.
We do well with them. Yeah. Surprisingly.
I won't complain too much, but they hold a little bit too. They put a little too much stock in those second-round picks.
Well, those like in the 30s, they're pretty decent. They're pretty decent picks. We've done great with them in general. But yeah, but we still got Rokas. We still got Rokas.
Yeah, Rokas. He's still on the shelf.
Yep.
But he's not coming over while Thibs is here.
No. Not until he gets a minutes commitment.
Mm-hmm.
Knicks feed. They put this out on Instagram. Sources say that the Knicks, though, are angling for Dallas to send Thibodeau favorite Reggie Bullock to New York in a Reddish deal, who is likewise held in high regard by the Mavericks. What are your thoughts about the return? Now, this was before Mitch went down.
Yeah.
So I think Mitch going down changes things a lot.
With Mitch healthy, why are you targeting Reggie Bullock? The man's not knocking down the three as consistently as he was when he was here. Defense is definitely taking a step back, and I just don't feel like that's the right move for us to make. You look at what we traded for Cam. We traded Knox and we traded a first round pick, and now we're looking to bring back Reggie Bullock. In return for Cam Reddish. I think that's definitely lost value.
It's a head scratcher.
Complete head scratcher, and it shows how this franchise continues to devalue assets. We devalued Kevin Knox, where we had to attach a first to get a prospect like Cam. Now we're devaluing Cam. We devalued guys like Alec Burks.
We're devaluing Obi.
Devaluing Obi. So I don't know why this organization can't find roles for players that have talent and then let them showcase what they can do on the court and then try to make a move, because parking them at the end of the bench is just going to make other teams question whether or not these guys can really, be difference makers if they trade for them. So we've got to get something for Cam, yes, but I don't know if Reggie Bullock, I know for a fact Reggie Bullock is not it. Some of the other trades, if you want to get 2 second-round picks, the team has hit on their second-round picks. So you'll live with it if that's the best you can get. But I just look at Cam and see that type of archetype. And if we are going to trade for another player, we should get a player in return that fits that similar archetype. That's exactly what this team needs. So if you can package Cam with a guy like Evan Fournier and bring back someone that can fill that role, a decent sized wing that can defend and also knock down threes and even create a little bit off the dribble if possible, then that's a deal I'd be happy for them to pursue. But right now, I'm not really hearing too many of those guys linked.
What it is? There's just not that many of them.
Exactly. But we're looking to get rid of one, which to me is nutty. So,
there's obviously something happened. I think we're all in agreement. It's not purely a talent issue.
I don't think it's ever been a talent issue
of why Cam's not playing. There's something about maybe I'm not going to speculate because I don't know. All I can say is we heard that there was an argument or a conflict that happened after that Dallas game between Cam and Thibs, whether it was directly at each other or one commenting about the other. We don't know, but we know that there was some conflict and he's never played since. So, and that sucks because I still feel he deserved a lot more time to figure it out. He didn't really get enough time last season, and then he got a few minutes and then he started balling, and then he got hurt, and then I think he also had COVID or something. Then he also gets sick. He was out a couple of times last year.
Yeah. Not sure it was an illness, but I know he definitely got hurt.
Yeah. So and then this season, I mean, he got off to an interesting start. His numbers, when you look at him though, Quis, his defensive numbers aren't that exciting. I know we all, we say, oh, he's a good defender, he's long and all that stuff. But when you look at the actual metrics, and it could be just the way he's not meshing with the other players, maybe trying to learn the scheme. I remember him even saying, "Oh, I'm still trying to learn the scheme, the defensive scheme." That could all have impacted his lack of the actual defensive metrics showing that he was really a good defender this season. I know
even if he was still learning the scheme, you have a limited amount of time of with him on the squad because his contract is ending soon. At least give him a little bit more of a leash to kind of learn on the fly. My man was playing solid, he was playing good, got hurt, came back few games, didn't like what he saw, and we never saw Cam Reddish again. To me, that's ridiculous. Just not giving a player an opportunity to earn a spot on the squad. You give them a few games here and there, returning from injury, and then now they're out of the rotation completely. To me, he was not given a fair chance, and I think the Knicks are now going to sell on him before we could really see what he can do.
Yeah,
and a team like the Heat,
I agree. He should have been given more of a chance. He should definitely have been given more of a chance. Definitely, I 100% agree with that. I mean, benching Fournier and D Rose, those make sense to some extent, but benching completely removing Fournier out of the rotation also didn't make sense to me either. The guy is a tremendous 3-point shooter. We struggle with 3-point shooting, especially
there's no in unit.
Yeah, there's no
always extremes.
Exactly. Then he did bring Fournier back a little bit here when there were injuries
because he was held at gunpoint,
but not Cam. So there's some extra stuff, some extra sauce there with Cam. You know what? Let's get to this slide here. This is, and I'll make it even bigger here so everyone can see it. I will hide our yeah. Actually, we're gonna do it this way here. So this is the Athletic. They came out with this. I think it was just today. The NBA trade deadline big board. They listed the top 25 players that they think potentially are on the market, or they have been on the market at one point. As you'll see, Emmanuel Quickley is listed as number 5 on this list. But even in their write up there, they mentioned that now Quickley is most likely not going to be moved at all. But number 1, Miles Turner. John Collins, number 2. Bojan Bogdanovic of the Pistons, number 3. Kyle Kuzma. Yeah, we've heard some Knicks fans talking about Kuzma maybe coming.
He's been cooking us recently.
Yeah. Jakob Poeltl. Gary Trent Jr. is another rumored player for the Knicks, but I don't see him as a Thibs guy at all. He doesn't play any defense. I mean, he plays okay defense, but not enough. He doesn't pass. He doesn't rebound. So, that's. I mean, basically,
and he'll be a free agent soon as well, too, right?
Yep, exactly. Karis LeVert is down there, Buddy Hield, but on the right side here, number 13. It starts getting a little interesting here. Kelly Olynyk. Now, to me, Kelly Olynyk seems like a really interesting player for us to look at during this period when Mitch is out. He gives you more of the offense that we were hoping iHeart was going to give us. And, he's a hustler. He's not defensively, he gives you some rim protection. He has some versatility. He can guard some of the quicker power forwards at times. He's given Randall. Randall ends up cooking him, but he's thrown out there to deal with Randall. So he's someone interesting for this situation right now. Let me see if I can pull him up. There he is. So. Kelly Olynyk, what are your thoughts, Quis?
Kelly Olynyk would definitely be an interesting player because he's someone you can trade for. He can give you minutes as a starter. And when Mitch returns, it wouldn't be a difficult transition to move him to the bench. And then he would give us that floor spacing we would need, especially, in crunch time. I think he's definitely someone that gives a lot of effort out there defensively, and I'm sure Tibbs would like that. And when Mitchell Robinson eventually returns and we have to move him to the bench, it would then free us up to trade iHeart and see if we can get something for him as well. So me personally, I think Kelly Olynyk as a trade target would be a decent move. You would just have to see if the Jazz would be able to negotiate with us in good faith, and it all depends on what would actually cost for us to get him. I don't think we should give up anything of too much value in order to bring him in.
I don't think we'd have to. I don't think we'd have to give up anything.
Oh, you never know with the Jazz. We already had one little back and forth with them in the offseason that didn't turn out in our favor. So who knows what the situation might be now.
Yeah. I mean, he's having one of his best seasons. He's posting a 50, 40, 83 shooting splits. That's 40% from the 3-point. He's averaging 12 points per game. He's here. The write up here. He's smart. He's instinctive. I feel like he's always, he's always had some decent results against us. So it'd be nice to have him on our side for once. He's making $12.8 million this season, and he has a non-guaranteed for next season, $12.1 million. They have him here. He would be a sharp addition for a contender looking for some front court playmaking, passing, and floor spacing. Those are all things that we desperately need, especially now without Mitch. It'd be interesting. To me, I'm in favor of this. If it cost us, well, we'd have to make the money work.
It'll probably have to send over an expiring, so maybe Rose. I don't know if they'll take Fournier any additional year on his contract.
Yeah, I doubt they would. They've had a chance. I think they had a chance to get Fournier and they didn't. So yeah, I think maybe D Rose and the second round pick. That's not a bad one. It's not a bad one. The next one here is Serge Ibaka. Oh, did we already talk about Serge?
Briefly.
All right. Yeah. Well, this was okay. So Ian Begley, he tweeted, "I don't see Knicks in any position to tank in wake of Mitchell Robinson injury. Serge Ibaka among group of vet bigs they could turn to for depth during Robinson's absence." And Ibaka and the Bucks mutually agree to find the veteran a new team via a trade. And Shams Sharania, he tweeted this out, the Milwaukee Bucks in the center. Okay, it's the same thing. Recap there. He's definitely dropped off from the player he used to be, especially when he was on Toronto and they won the chip there. But he kind of, I mean, he would be another interesting, fairly cheap acquisition. I think he's only even making $2.1 million or $2.4 million or something right now. So on top of him being cheap to acquire, he's a body. I don't think he replaced the needle. He doesn't move the needle. He's just there to fill the role. We need someone to eat up minutes. Remember, we also have guys that get in foul trouble. Ihart gets into tremendous foul trouble. Sims gets into tremendous foul trouble. We're going to be down 2 guys, and then we're going to be going small. We're going to be putting RJ in that situation of picking up extra fouls, or even Randall. We're going to need a third big body of some kind, however it happens. Serge Ibaka, in my opinion, would be a very interesting acquisition. I'd go for Kelly Olynyk first.
Yep.
Go for him first. Because also, even if Olynyk doesn't start, he comes off the bench, he helps provide some offense for the second unit. But I think he'd start in this situation. Olynyk would. But Serge Ibaka, I can see him really filling that role well while Mitch is out. So I give that a thumbs up, that one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not overly excited about Ibaka, but if we were to be able to get him for the low, then I'll be open to it. He gives a little bit more to us offensively than I would say Mitch in terms of his versatility, because he can knock down the outside shot.
He can knock down the outside shot. He's got a couple of little post moves.
Got decent footwork when, given time. So I'd be open to it, but I wouldn't expect much from him. No. I don't think this trade is going to completely turn things around if the team doesn't look great without Mitchell Robinson being available for an extended period of time. I think he'd be a good body, help us if guys like Sims, guys like Ihart get in foul trouble, and give us a little bit more versatility offensively.
Yeah, I agree. The next guy is this guy, Saddiq Bey. Saddiq Bey, there's been no real rumors of Saddiq Bey with the Knicks, just some slight little rumblings here and there. Yeah. Because again, this he would basically everything that we're looking for Cam to give us, Saddiq Bey is he's already proven that he can do it. And I think defensively, I mean, I always wonder, is he a good defender or not?
He's decent. I mean, Randall usually gets the best of him when they go head to head, but
Randall's so much bigger than him too.
True.
Yeah. To me, he's really more of a small forward.
He is,
but he plays a lot of power. Yeah. Why would a developing team trade a 6'7" wing who has played reasonably well over his 3-year NBA tenure? One reason: that third year is a marker for one-time first-round picks. They're eligible for contract extensions that summer, so front offices are proactively evaluating if they're willing to sign that player to his next contract. If not, the trade deadline offers a window to ship him elsewhere for a better return. Bey's best season was his rookie year, 38% on threes as a frequent starter. Though the Pistons have significantly more knowledge of Bey's development and work ethic than we can see in games, expect to see other teams show interest in Bey if he hits the block, because wings that even offer the possibility of plus shooting and defending are incredibly valuable. What would you give up for a Saddiq Bey?
That's a good question. Because you also trade for him knowing that you're going to have to pay him at some point. If you don't trade him, I mean, if you don't pay him, then you're going to be
I
giving up
think this is the kind
whatever
of
you
guy,
need.
if you trade for him, you're intending to sign him. You're intending to sign him at this point.
Yeah, it'd be interesting because they're not going to want Cam Reddish because Cam Reddish is going to be a free agent even sooner, or maybe they will. I won't speak for them, but if they can take Cam Reddish off our hands, you include Cam Reddish in the deal. Maybe some
I think
salary
Cam
filler.
will be cheaper. I think Cam will be cheaper to resign than Sadiq Bey. I think Sadiq Bey, if he hits the open market, he's going to get like 18 to 20.
It's like Fournier money.
Like Fournier money, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
On the upper end, Fournier, like 20. I think about 20 million he could probably get. Maybe not that long of a deal. Maybe a 3-year, 60 kind of a deal, but he'll get 20.
Yeah, they're probably going to want a first too, but I'm kind of stingy with the first. I'm still waiting to see if we can bring in a big name player before I start shipping out these first left, right, and center. So I don't know if I'd be willing to give up first for Sadiq Bey. It'll probably take that in order for the Pistons to move off of him because I think he's still a solid player. You see now when the team, they look for him to be a big time scorer, not necessarily a 20 points per game scorer, but he does have a decent role on that offense over there, especially with them missing guys like Cunningham and whatnot. So you probably give up Cam. Maybe you give up Evan Fournier for if you give up Cam, probably the salaries match right there. So you probably have to get some picks. Yeah, so they probably want a first. So if I have to include a first, I'm not doing it. Already traded a first to get Cam. Now I'm going to attach a first with Cam to bring in Sadiq Bey, who might be in the same situation next year. That's where it gets a little tricky. I'd rather wait till he get the free agency, see if we can free some money up and then sign him, and it'll just cost cap.
Yeah, that's the thing is though, it's going to be tricky this off season for us to sign any free agents.
Well, he has one more year though. He's in the same position Cam was last year. Right?
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah, that's true. I would give up. I would give up a protected first. I would give up a protected first. Not necessarily ours. I'd give up like the Bucks. Don't we have the Bucks first round pick?
We have the Bucks, Charlotte, and Mavs, right?
Yeah, I'd give up the Bucks pick. The Bucks are going to be good for the next X amount of years, and the Pistons can at least say, "Hey, we got a first round pick for him," and maybe we, Cam. But if Cam's only going to net us 2 second rounders. Maybe we put Cam in the deal, and
but you can throw a bunch of second rounders in the trade for a big time star.
Yeah, but maybe we'll take back a second rounder from Detroit if they have
potentially. But if we're dealing first,
we give them a first.
Toronto.
Yeah, so basically,
see if OG's available.
OG.
Yeah, if we're gonna include a first in the deal, then I'm calling Toronto. See what it'll cost.
Thing is, OG. They're talking crazy numbers.
I think the numbers. I think it came down a little bit.
Yeah, like they were saying a first. They were saying like a Donovan Mitchell-esque type
initially, but then I think a day or two ago, another article came out saying it wouldn't be that type of trade package because OG's not that type of player. So for them to even want that, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Someone in the chat is asking about Swaggy D says, do y'all want Eric Gordon?
Nope.
Yeah, it's just I mean, I wouldn't mind him on the team to come off the bench and help give us some offense in that second unit. I've always liked him as a player. He struggles to stay healthy. It's just a matter of what it would cost, and if they're looking, I think they definitely want a first round pick for him. So I don't think that's where you want to spend your first round pick. I would do it on a Sadiq Bey because he fits the age profile of our team. He has a tremendous upside. And he's a Villanova guy. I like those kind of players. I think he would fit more. And I actually put him in here just because he's a guy that I like. Put him in there. It's just because it's not like there's any real rumors with him.
Yeah, I like Bey as well. It's just when you start to look at what the other teams may want in return, that's when you start to, not sure about that. Listen, if they're willing to let us swindle them, we can give 2-3 second round picks for Bay. That's what they'll take.
Yeah.
And Cam.
Hey, maybe they will. Maybe, yeah.
Because he's the perfect profile for the type of player that we need on this squad. Because he can either start and move RJ back down to the 2, or he can come off the bench and create a little bit more with IQ and become a nice little dynamic duo for us off the bench. You know, he has solid size. He can be a solid defender. And, you know, the 3-pointer, you know, comes and goes at times. It could be a little bit inconsistent.
And he's
but he can knock him down.
Hot.
He's knocked down threes against us.
Yeah.
He starts shooting threes. I'm like, oh, that's not going in. Schwab right in Julius Randle's face. I'm like, oh,
and then
my
you
God,
you just leave him out there. You know, if he comes in off the bench late in that first quarter, early in that second quarter, and he's hot, and then when the starters come back, you just leave him on the court. Let him keep shooting. I mean, just ride that guy. He's that kind of player. Now, looking at the big board here, any other names here that look interesting to you? We talked about Eric Gordon just now. We talked about Sadiq Bey, Kelly Olynyk. You mentioned Malik Beasley. Any? I'm worried.
Well, Beasley was another guy that was linked to us.
Yeah, I'm nervous.
One person that's not on this list that I see in chat is Mo Bamba. That'd be another interesting big to target. He's another young player. He can, you know, shoot the 3, give you some defense due to his, you know.
I meant to include Mo in this, but we've talked about him in the past so many times, and it's
like about him for the upcoming offseason, right? Yeah.
Alone, he's a Harlem guy. You know, he's got range.
I think those is kind of overblown. Everybody talks about, you know, he's from New York. Who cares? I don't care where they're from, as long as you can play.
I don't care about that either. But it gives you a little extra. It's good for the player, I think, if they want to be here.
So you can say that, but Kimba, he said it was a little bit, you know, I won't say you know, stressful or nerve-wracking, but there's a little bit more on your shoulders because you're a hometown kid and you want to play well in front of the hometown fans. So I think it depends.
It's a double-edged sword. It could definitely work against you. In Kemba's situation, he was nursing an injury. He'd already been an all-star established. Yeah, he's compromised. This is different. This is like Mo coming back home, you know.
But there's also major expectations too. We trade for Mo, you know. Friends and family are going to expect certain things. Fans are going to expect certain things for the hometown kid to come and you know, play lights out. And then there may be some struggles here and there because, you know, these guys are human.
I've heard zip about Mo Bamba.
Yeah, it was more last year.
Yeah. Again, shout out to the chat. Thank you guys for showing up. Lex the Destroyer, best mod around. Thank you for holding it down. Let's see who we got. I shouted out Swaggy D before. Francis, what's going on? Oh, we got Luck Charm 22. If you're new, just drop a hashtag new.
Yeah, we'll give you a shout out.
Yeah. John Holmes, what's up? John Holmes, he thinks Ibaka's better for eating minutes. Ibaka costs less.
He 6 fouls.
Yeah. Fritz, I think Fritz is talking about Ibaka. He says, washed. He has leadership qualities, but shouldn't be a rotation piece. Let's see. Got some interesting ones. Rockets fan. What y'all asking for Obi? Ooh, for Obi. So I don't even know what to ask for Obi, honestly.
Because, I mean, he hasn't played well. He's coming back off of an injury. How much can you get for a guy that's only playing 15 minutes a game?
Yeah. What about Rui Hachimura?
I like Rui. He's another guy that should be coming up for either an extension or a new deal soon. And he could be somebody that we trade for if we're going to move off of Obi. I think he's a solid guy off the bench that can play the 4, can also play the 3. You know, he can knock down the 3. What was it? Not the last game, but the game before, he knocked down a big 3. That helped make.
He's had some big games.
Nerve-wracking a little bit. Yeah, he's had some. He's a solid player. I think he just took some time off because he had some, you know, mental health issues. But you know, when he's out there, when he's healthy, he can go out there and give you 20.
Yeah,
20 and 7. You know, not every game, of course, but he can have moments. And those type of players are solid off the bench, especially with a guy like Emmanuel Quickly who can draw attention. They're sharing the court together.
Yeah, that would be a nice combo right there. Let's see who else. Well, Jay Crowder, he's been rumored in the past for the Knicks.
I mean, I could see us trying to go get a Jay Crowder, and if it's going to be fairly inexpensive, you know, you can understand because he's a guy that can. He's probably Reggie. He's similar to Reggie Bullock, but a better player. So he can knock down the three. He can, still defend pretty reasonably well. And if he's cheap, I can understand it. I would think he's a Tibbs guy based on his play style.
Yeah,
So I can see the fit.
He definitely looked like he was dropping off a bit last season to me. He's not quite as mobile. I mean, he was, he's a catch and shoot guy in general. But at least he could once in a while beat his guy off the dribble and finish once in a while. Didn't really see that much last season. And then he may have lost a more than a half step. He may have lost a full step for all we know. And then that also hurts him defensively. I think the Jay Crowder we remember, who with the Heat and the Suns, the first season he was with the Suns, that guy, yes, for sure. But if he's the Jay Crowder that I saw towards the end of last season, he could be somebody interesting, but he's not going to change too much. He's not going to move the needle much, I don't think.
Yep. I don't think we'll see too many people get traded that will be calling quote unquote needle movers.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think there's too many players too many teams that are still in the hunt.
Yep.
Not only for the playoffs, but the play-in as well. Yeah. So it's going to be a very interesting next week, 2 weeks. Next 2 weeks. Oh man, well, this has been great.
Yeah,
we did a stream. Yeah, big quick rundown to give everyone a rundown on the trade possibilities. I think at this point, if we could pick up, I think we need to pick up somebody. We need a big body. We need another big body. That's just hands down. Even if it's Taj, we bring Taj back.
Taj is a cone. Did you see quick run right by that man?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I forgot. I think he was either trying to throw an alley-oop or it was just a floater that was off. But whatever play that was, ran right by Taj, got into the paint, threw up either the floater or the alley-oop, ended up getting the ball back, and then he threw up another floater and got fouled by Taj. That man's feet were stuck in molasses. He can't move.
Well, he's
no lateral movement.
He's 37, 38 now. Yeah, he's getting up there. He's getting up there for sure.
Yeah.
But like I'll tell you, I think a Kelly Olynyk to me would be interesting. Would be an interesting. I would get excited about bringing.
He'd be the best move.
Yeah,
the best move.
Yeah, and I hey, look, and anyone whose last 3 letters in their name ends in NYK belongs on this team. That'd be awesome. Sadiq Bey is another one that I just want to keep an eye on in general. You're right. If we can somehow just sign him in the summer, then that works as well. But we need somebody. We already had a need. We basically need to replace the Cam Reddish.
Yeah,
with Cam Reddish, the hope of Cam Reddish. We need to replace him with someone that Thibs would play. So that's what Sadiq Bey gives you. Now, there aren't too many other guys like that because there aren't that many wings.
And they don't become available too often.
No, they don't. So we should also hold out and make sure we get something decent in return for Cam Reddish.
I mean, the issue is those other guys we're talking about are actually playing. And that's why we should have Cam playing. Because if you do plan on trading him, you need to at least show other teams that he can be a quality rotational player.
There it is.
And I don't care what his management is saying. They don't play him because we're looking for a trade.
He says he's never asked for a trade.
I mean, he's not going to say it out.
I know.
Honestly, I don't know if players can even say it.
No, they
to
can't.
The public.
But he has said he has never requested for a trade.
But even if his management is saying don't play him because we're looking for a deal, who cares if you're looking for a deal? We're trying to get into the playoffs. We're trying to win. So we're gonna play him. Yeah. We won't put him in compromising positions. Like play him 40 minutes a night, like some of the other guys. But we're gonna play him some meaningful.
I never bought any of that. I don't buy any of that. I think there's a beef between the two, and they just said, "Oh, let's just say we're trying to look for a trade for him. That's why he's not playing." I think there's a beef between Thibs and Cam, which has in turn devalued him. So now we can't get even a protected first-round pick for him. We can't get what we traded for him back because of the way that Thibs has managed him. Yeah.
We can't get anything for Fournier, too. So it's crazy. We've got 3 players at the end of the bench making, upwards of $40 to $50 million, and they can't contribute?
That's life. Life with Thibs.
With Thibs and his front office as well, because, they're the ones
that's why
decided to make some of these signings and trades as well.
I think a trade is going to happen next week. They're going to do something before the big wave, because you wait till February 9th, then who knows what can happen. Yeah. If the Knicks see somebody that they can add, like somebody that like Kelly Olynyk or Ibaka, they bring him in early or early-ish in the trade landscape, and then you see what else becomes available to fill that scoring need that we have for the bench. So let's hope and see. But the game's going to start soon. We took it right up to the end, like we always do.
Yes, sir. It almost turns into a watch along halfway through.
Almost. It'd be fun to do a watch along one day.
Yeah, one of these days. I'll do it.
One of these.
It has to be like on a Sunday, or it has to be on a Sunday for the most part. Or you don't tell me early enough, I'll take the day off or something.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. Well, you guys, thanks so much for watching this. Again, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit your thumbs up button. Hit the thumbs up button for us if you enjoyed this. And if any thoughts come to you later on, trade ideas or whatever, or you're watching this in the replay, please drop your comments. We read them all. I love them. They let me know what you guys are feeling and thinking. And Quis, you want to shout out?
Make sure you guys are tuned. Oh, I thought you wanted me to sign off. My fault. Oh. Yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat. Knicks Nation 112, Lex the Destroyer, Francesco. Gio.
I saw Kareem Grant earlier too.
Yes, sir. Salute. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate the support for the live streams.
Yeah, and don't forget to check out the sports, the Sunday stream on Sports
Vibes TV. Yeah, Fox and I will be back this Sunday. It'll end up being more so of a pregame because the game is at 6. But make sure you guys are tuned in 4:30.
All right, are we going to win today?
That's a good question. I hope so.
I hope so.
But the Hawks are hot. What they've won 4 in a row.
We've won 4 in a row.
Oh, time for us to break that.
Yep, let's break that streak. Let's do it. All right. I love when we win on a Friday.
Yes, sir.
I love when we win. And I'll be doing
good start to the weekend.
I'll be doing the recap. If it's a big win, maybe I'll jump on live and do the recap. But thank you guys so much for watching this. Again, my name is George. This is Quis. Thank you for watching, and we will see you around the Knicks-Verse.